It's still the Citi Newsroom. I'm currently at Joel here in Accra. I'm here today because I want to pick the thoughts of residents around here on the whole coronavirus pandemic. Now, this virus hit the shores of Ghana in March. On a Thursday evening, the Minister of Information as well as the Minister of Health announced that the country had recorded 2 cases of coronavirus. Now, from that March date to today, we've recorded over 23,000 cases of the coronavirus here on the shores of Ghana. Now, over the period, we've seen a lot of things happening, from government taking steps to ensure that the virus doesn't escalate, to residents changing their ways of life just to be able to adjust. Now, how difficult has it been for residents here, just like other Ghanaians all over the country? What are their thoughts about interventions so far and actions taken by government so far to ensure that the virus doesn't spread? And what are they doing to ensure they don't pick this virus? I've seen a resident, so let me speak to him on his thoughts. Actually, he's on his way having a walk today, exercising. One of the things that we didn't see a lot of people do during the period was exercise, come out to exercise because it wasn't safe at that time. Now, a lot of rules have been relaxed and people can go out, but they have to practice the safety protocols. Sir, what's your name?
My name is Albert.
Can you walk with me today? I'll join your walk. Okay, great. So Albert, 23,000 cases we've recorded so far. Were you surprised with the numbers we've seen here?
I'm not surprised because when the lockdown was eased, you realize that, yes, I can attribute it to economic conditions. You know, the mask we are wearing right now, the price, as compared to some of the trotro passing, the trotro mates, how many can you buy in a day? So they would not be able to make it. I mean, they wouldn't be able to observe the protocols to the letter. There's only a very few, the certain class of people that can do that to the letter. And so they try to do it, but then our culture is a communal culture. We don't live in isolation as Ghanaians. So I think that's what's accounting for the increases in the numbers.
How could we have done it better so that the results we're seeing now would have been avoided?
I was thinking that the restrictions should have been managed better. For instance, the registration that's going on shouldn't have come.
You don't think we should have done this registration?
Not at all. You see, life first. Go to some of the centers you've observed. In fact, I'm very apprehensive in going to register now because I'm scared.
Have you done it?
I have not done it
Would
yet.
you do it?
Yes, of course. I'm trying to do it. In fact, I'm thinking of traveling to the village where I wouldn't have a lot of crowd and I'll be given some space to go freely. But within Jawulu and Abelinkwe, you realize that the crowds are there, and by the time you realize they've moved away from your area, and so for me, when I see the crowd, I wouldn't get close. That's me. But like I said, it wasn't necessary because it shouldn't be part of it shouldn't be top on the priority. This is about health and life. So we could have locked down, restraint on some of those things, and just allow for the basic things to go on, like things that could give us food and survival, because that's what we should be looking out for now.
Thank you so much. It was a great walk with you. I wish I could go. How many kilometers do you want to do today?
I like to do 5.
I'm punting already with it. Listen, we've done like half a kilometer or less, huh?
Yeah, we've done less.
Okay, I'm tired.
Right.
So I'm going to leave you to continue your walk.
Thank you very much.
And then speak to other
people.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too. Good day. Bye. Bye. Interesting conversation with Albert on the coronavirus pandemic, his thoughts on it, and some of the things we're doing to ensure the virus doesn't spread any further. But let me speak to a gentleman who resides here in Joel on his thoughts about all that. He's a student as well. Welcome to the Citi Newsroom.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So, coronavirus struck the shores of Ghana in March. It's been about 3 months. The numbers keep increasing. What are your general thoughts about the whole virus?
I think you should actually play it safe. That's what I think.
Okay.
As much as people don't believe that the virus is around, but it's better you play it safe.
Okay. So there have been quite a number of interventions by the government. We saw a lockdown, which was eventually lifted. Subsequently, a number of interventions for public health officials, etc. But let's go to the issue of opening of schools. You are a final year student,
No, not really.
so you haven't gone to school, but your seniors, or if I can say that,
Yeah.
have gone to school. Was it a good idea for us to explore that?
No, not at all.
You don't think they should have gone back to school? Why?
No. You see, if prisoners are being taken out of prison just to save them from getting coronavirus because they are crowded, you shouldn't send students back to a place that is crowded. That's what I think.
So from that, I assume that you're also not in support of the registration being done.
As well.
Right. Okay.
Yes,
Let's.
because-
Yeah,
okay.
you go ahead.
Because now we are being told it's an airborne disease, and the wind could just sweep it into a group of people. So we gathering over there to register and all that. It's not safe. It's not safe at all.
Thank you very much. I wish you all the best.
thank you
Okay.
very much.
Now, Jawula is a residential area. On the other side, there are a lot of commercial buildings as well. So it's a mixture of a few commercial buildings as well as predominantly residential areas. So quite the affluent live over here. And so on a Saturday like this, there's not much activity here. Most people are at home or probably have stepped out. Very quiet neighborhood that you have over here. So if you look around me, you wouldn't see so much activity. You see a few people walking by the streets, most people driving around in their cars. Pretty quiet neighborhood. I've spotted a family. I'm going to speak to them on the thoughts of the coronavirus. Hello, welcome to the Citi Newsroom.
Thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Franklin.
Okay, and I guess this is your family. This is your mom?
Yeah, that's my
Is
mom.
that your sister?
That's my daughter.
That's a daughter. Oh, they're lovely. So what are your thoughts about this coronavirus so far? I mean, we started with a few cases. Now we've recorded over 23,000. What do you think about this whole coronavirus thing?
I'm not sure exactly what authorities are doing about it at this time, because it seems like although we are hearing that we are supposed to be practicing all the safety measures and practicing social distances and stuff like that, unfortunately the numbers are actually just still going up. And it also looks like at this time that the numbers are going up is when we are actually opening up society more than I think we should. So perhaps it's a time to go back to the drawing board and then take another look at it and see if there are other ways we can do things differently.
What would you see that you think will better reduce the numbers or stop the numbers from escalating?
There should be localized lockdown if that's going to help. I definitely think schools shouldn't be open at the moment. At the beginning, one of the first things that came to mind was the fact that the whole academic year should just be suspended and then we start next academic year. And it was unfortunate to hear that they were asked to go back to school. Final year students were asked to go back to school. But I have a younger sister and she's in school right now. She's in, I'm not going to mention the name of the school.
One of the tertiary or
No,
secondary school?
senior high school.
Senior high school. Okay.
And she went back to school and she's having to sleep in a classroom
What?
on the floor with her mattress on the floor.
In Accra or outside?
No, outside of Accra.
Where? Outside Accra.
Outside Accra, yes. Because of this, tomorrow my dad is going to her school to see what the situation is for himself, and then the family will decide whether she should still be in school or not.
Well, don't you trust the authorities? They say we should hang in there. They'll ensure that everything goes right. We don't.
Well,
trust that. Mommy is shaking her head.
Let me-
I will speak to you in a bit.
Let me answer your question with a question.
Yes.
Let me answer your question with a question. Aren't these the same authorities who said they were going to make sure that all the schools received the things they needed to make sure they were safe before the students returned? Was that the case for all the schools? So I guess you have an answer to your question. Should they contract COVID before it's time to write the papers? They won't be able to write the papers. What provision is the Ministry of Education doing for that? Would they say, okay, because they've contracted it, so they should just wait and write next year? If that is the case, then they should just wait and write next year. Everyone should just wait and write next year. I don't understand why they are forcing that this should happen this way. Kenya has cancelled out. Nigeria has cancelled out. And these are even countries that we would say didn't start approaching this the right way at the beginning. Ghana was the model for Africa at the beginning. Now look at us.
All right. Thank you so much. Mommy says you've said everything, so I'm going to leave it at that. But thank you very much. Beautiful family, mommy, daughter, and then the father. It's still a Citi Newsroom. We're still interacting with residents here in Joel. I'm going to the commercial bit of the area to speak to some businesses here on their thoughts about the coronavirus pandemic. I've seen an office, so I'm going to check it out and see if I can get to speak to the people here who run a business over here. Hello, boss. My name is Vivian. I'm from Citi FM. Can I come in? I want to speak to you people on the business you do here. This is actually an office. Quite a number of activities are done here, but we'll speak to the people who run this office on that. But we're here because we're finding out from the business people here their thoughts about the coronavirus, how they've been able to cope so far. And then we'll pick their thoughts. So I'm going to be joined by a gentleman here who actually runs this company. They're quite into a number of things. So we'll find out how the coronavirus is impact on their business here, which is at Jawolo. So welcome to the Citi Newsroom.
Thank you.
What's your name, please?
I'm David Ajefi-Mensah.
Okay. So what do you do here? What business activities are done here?
Okay, so we have a travel and tour business in here. We have a macro credit business in here. We have a bit of engineering work, construction also in here. And we're also involved in supply of food to secondary schools. We are one of the distributors of Ghana National Food Buffer Stock Company.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about that. How has that been over the period from March to now, following the coming on the shores of the coronavirus? What has it been like?
It's been devastating. I mean, from business point, it's been very devastating. We have stocks that sat in the warehouse. We had, I mean, when you were entering, you saw a lot of our stocks sitting down. We are logistics, basically, and our trucks have been parked. Workers had to go home a while until recently when there was a partial opening for the students, and so we have to record them. I mean, for the other businesses, basically, it's not operating because nothing is happening. Because of the partial opening, we have to recall a number of them to come back to assist in order that we can feed the students. It's relatively a short period, and the schools having closed for a long period. Most of the existing stocks have gone bad and they need to be replaced, and so there's high demand. That has sort of made us bring on board a few other hands.
But earlier you were talking about still having stockpiles.
Yeah, we have stockpiles.
What are your plans for that, and what would be the worst case scenario with that situation?
Well, we will see if we can release it to the open market, because the arrangement is not for buffer to hold the stock as their asset. Ownership of the stock is still in our hands until we deliver to the schools. So we are looking at all other possible options. We are cutting down on the ones that should have come in, quite a number of them. We have told the vendors to hold on. But the few that are in, fortunately, Buffer has given us some of their warehouses across the country for us to keep the stocks. So we have quite a number of stocks in their warehouses across the region. And the ones that go bad, we dispose them. This one is from Tamale. This one is from Akusi. Yeah.
So where does that one go? What
Okay, so this one, the ones in the small bags, we send them to Buffer, and then, Buffer feeds the COVID patients at the isolation center. Every week, we alone, we provide government with 67 bags of rice. to be used to feed the people there. And that is one of just a single commodity. There are other commodities that government. And we have done that for, almost about 6-7 weeks now, every week. So that's a lot of money government is spending.
Yeah, and that's good business for you.
It's a service to the nation.